Welcome to Age of Glory, where we relive the battles that shaped civilizations. Today, we set sail to the Mediterranean to witness one of the most decisive naval clashes in history, the Battle of Lepanto, fought on October 7, 1571. A Christian fleet of the Holy League faced off against the mighty Ottoman Empire in a clash that would determine the future of Europe and the Islamic world. To understand the importance of the Battle of Lepanto, we have to look at the 16th century, when the Ottoman Empire was at its absolute peak. They had seized Constantinople in 1453, dominated the Balkans, and controlled much of North Africa and the Middle East. Their influence stretched across the eastern Mediterranean, and Europe watched anxiously as the Ottomans pushed ever westward, threatening Italy, Spain, and crucial Venetian trade routes.
That's right. The Ottomans weren't just an external threat, they were the superpower of their day. Meanwhile, Europe was deeply divided internally, with religious upheaval like the Protestant Reformation and political rivalries between nations. Ironically, the fear of Ottoman expansion was one of the rare forces that managed to unite Catholic powers, who otherwise might have continued fighting each other.
Those internal divisions made it difficult for European states to coordinate. But as the Ottoman navy grew more aggressive, especially in the Mediterranean, the sense of urgency intensified. Their military campaigns were not only about conquest, they were about dominating key trade routes and projecting their influence across continents.
Exactly, and the Mediterranean was the lifeblood of European commerce. As Ottoman control grew, especially after their victories in the Balkans and North Africa, many European leaders began to see that unchecked expansion could eventually cut off vital resources and even lead to direct invasions of southern Europe.
The immediate trigger for the Battle of Lepanto was the Ottoman invasion of Cyprus in 1570. Cyprus was under Venetian control, and when Venice realized it couldn't defend the island alone, it turned to Pope Pius V for help. This led to the creation of the Holy Liga coalition of Catholic states, including Spain, Venice, the Papal States, and several Italian duchies.
The alliance was a remarkable achievement for the time, considering how fractious European politics were. Pope Pius V saw the threat as not just political, but existential for Christendom. The Holy League's goal was to defend against further Ottoman expansion, reclaim lost territories, and halt Ottoman naval supremacy in the Mediterranean.
Spain, led by King Philip II, provided significant resources, but Don Juan of Austria, his half-brother, was chosen to command the Holy League fleet. The coalition brought together around 200 galleys and 80,000 men, united by a sense of religious purpose as much as by political necessity.
On the other side, the Ottomans, led by Ali Pasha and backed by elite janissaries and North African corsairs, fielded about 230 galleys and 87,000 men. The stakes were incredibly high. Both sides understood that the outcome could alter the balance of power in the Mediterranean for decades.
The two fleets met near the Gulf of Patras, just off the coast of western Greece, near the town then known as Lepanto. On October 7, 1571, the Holy League formed a straight line, 3 squadrons deep with reserves and flanking wings, while the Ottomans deployed their signature crescent formation, aiming to envelop the Christian ships.
The battle was ferocious, with ships colliding and boarding actions erupting all over. Cannon fire, musket volleys, and brutal hand-to-hand combat played out on the decks. A pivotal moment came when Don Juan's forces managed to storm and capture Ali Pasha's flagship. Ali Pasha himself was killed, which had a devastating effect on Ottoman morale.
By sunset, the Holy League had shattered the Ottoman fleet. Over 30,000 Ottoman soldiers were killed, and 12,000 Christian slaves chained to Ottoman galleys were freed. The Holy League's losses, while significant, about 8,000 men were, far outweighed by the scale of their victory.
Several factors contributed to this outcome. The Holy League's ships had superior firepower, especially with more cannons mounted at the bow. Don Juan's disciplined tactics and the coalition's surprisingly effective coordination, despite national differences, were also crucial. But there was a real sense of moral motivation. The Christian forces fought with the belief that they were defending their faith and cultures from existential threat.
Although the Battle of Lepanto didn't end the Ottoman naval threat entirely, it was the first major defeat for the Ottomans in over a century. The victory electrified Europe, shattering the myth of Ottoman naval invincibility and lifting the specter of a possible invasion of Italy or southern Europe.
For the Ottomans, the defeat meant a heavy loss of ships and thousands of experienced sailors. While they managed to rebuild their navy quickly, they never truly regained the dominance they once wielded in the Mediterranean. The battle marked the beginning of a slow but steady decline in Ottoman maritime power.
In Europe, Lepanto became a powerful symbol. It reinforced Catholic unity during a period of religious upheaval, and artists and writers celebrated the victory for generations. Miguel de Cervantes, later famous for Don Quixote, actually fought at Lepanto and was wounded in the battle.
Ultimately, Lepanto represented more than just a clash of fleets. It was a defining moment in the struggle between East and West, between empire and coalition, between Islam and Christendom. The battle effectively halted Ottoman expansion into the Western Mediterranean and remains one of the most iconic naval engagements in world history. Thank you for sailing with us on Age of Glory. We hope this journey into the Battle of Lepanto gave you insight into one of history's most dramatic showdowns at sea. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe for more history podcasts and battle stories from across the ages. See you next time.